Oh! 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 What's up, chat? Are we gonna have no viewers on stream today because everyone is gonna be playing Monster Hunter World? That seems possible. Not World, excuse me, Wilds. I feel like Wilds is a downgrade from World. If we're going to Monster from Monster Hunter World, shouldn't we go to like Monster Hunter Universe or some shit? I played enough of the demo to know that I'm gonna buy and play Wilds at some point, but I don't like having to do shit on other people's schedule, even if it's something like something as simple as just like a video game release. I want to play stuff when I want to play it. I got it gifted. I mean, it's not a thing about money. It's more like a, the reason why I'm not playing Monster Hunter right now is because I don't feel like playing Monster Hunter. I'm sort of in the middle of my getting better at art period right now, so... I mean, because is it at the end of the day, isn't that what Monster Hunter is about? It's about improving at your skill and technique. So if I'm already working hard trying to improve at something else, which is my job, like I don't really feel like doing it in Monster Hunter. Oh boy, more third-person parry dodge fighting slop. That certainly sounds like someone who's never played Monster Hunter before. I can't... Isn't there like an extensive new parry system in Wilds? I didn't really fiddle with all the new mechanics. Or is it that just for like specific weapons? I can't remember. Like, I knew they introduced like 10 different new mechanics at the start of the game, and I was just like, I'm just gonna make sure that I can fucking run it on the PS5, and I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to learn all the new mechanics like some people were. You will pay $100 for the same game every year and you will like it. Now that's a true NPC opinion right there. We haven't had a new Monster Hunter game since... I mean, I'm not really counting the fucking Switch games as real Monster Hunter games, so we haven't had a new Monster Hunter game in how many years? Monster Hunter World came out in 2018, so it's been, you know, 7 years. But the problem is that besides me being busy getting good at drawing and stuff as well, this is the case for every game, but unless there's like some serious story spoilers, there really is no point in buying a game earlier as opposed to later. If you can feel emotionally capable of waiting to play it, the experience will always be better the longer you wait. So not only will there be like a lot of patches in between now and later, there will also be like more content added, especially in the case of Monster Hunter. So I waited for Red Dead 2 for years in its peak. Yeah. I still haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2. I think I'm sort of a little done with Rockstar. I don't really like their storytelling, and I don't want to be part of their online world with like other players either, so... Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I bought on day one, collector's edition. Smart. You don't want the to wait and have the internet spoil you what happens. Although I joke, but with all the canon ghosts they had in, you know, the first part of the remake, I guess there's always the possibility that they have like a huge, you know, massive spoilers that you don't want to get spoiled at this point. Like, what if it turns out that instead of Sephiroth and Cloud fighting, you know, Sephiroth just gets on his knees and starts sucking Cloud's cock in a fully uncensored 3D CG, high-budget gay porn fest. You don't want the internet to spoil that amazing moment for you, you know? You want to be able to experience it all on your own. That seems like something he would do. Honestly, if you ask me to define Sephiroth's character and what kind of a person he is, it's kind of hard to actually say, right? He's just like a guy obsessed about mommy Genova, and then he sort of lost his mind and then just killed everybody. Like, you don't spend much time actually, you know, interacting with Sephiroth that much. This is why, despite all the memes and shit like that, Persona 4 has a really good villain, because you actually get to spend time with him. Insane Ikemen? Yeah, that's just what it comes down to. That's what people actually just want. Is a hot boy that is also gonna stab them. By people, I mean woman. That's what women want. Visuaruke, sexy boy, who also will murder them. What games do even women play? Comfy stuff. Stardew Valley. Anything that allows them to grind shit, like RuneScape. Various types of gacha, although gacha isn't really a video game, both for men and women. That's just people with gambling addictions. Similarly, I'm not going to count phone games, although if any, there's any like articles that are like, women now make up 1/2 of the gaming population. What they mean is that there's a shit ton of women with too much spare time addicted to phone games that are wasting their fucking money on playing these, like, you know, monetization schemes. They don't mean they actually play video games. Yeah, I guess you would call it Animal Crossing core. Various flavors of Animal Crossing is how you would probably put it. He would not kill me. No, that's not how the woman's psychology goes. You're underestimating the power of otome gamers. The Yume Joshi mentality. The Yume Joshi mentality isn't, he would not kill me. It's, oh god, I hope he kills me. That's the Yume Joshi mentality. It's, I understand he has a love interest in the canonical story, so I could never be his number one. I just hope that he murders me, and then he thinks about me all the time and regrets murdering me. That's the type of mentality we're talking about. Hashtag Ikemen only. Women can never be true gamers because they don't have the powerful hunter-gatherer spirit that have been instilled in our genetics as men since primordial times. The same power that allowed us as men to go and hunt the woolly mammoth while the women stayed at home grinding berries, we used to go out into the wild and play 10 hours of CSGO every single day, wasting our lives. Women can never understand the grind set that the male gamer has. Hashtag gamers rise up. I have to bring out images of my own goddamn character because if I don't, I'm gonna forget how I drew her. Especially like the hairstyle and stuff. I can't remember if she has short hair in the back. Slightly long. It's like the front is slightly longer than the back. When will you expand your art to male, Preg? I'm glad that we have this comment highlighting system, or else I might have missed such an important constructive comment. That would be horrible. Have you backed up your art? Yeah. I have it in like a separate hard drive and stuff, but you know. Does it really matter? Once I post it online, someone else has backed it up. It will be out in the universe. FPS games always end up as sausage fests. I remember I was playing with like a female avatar in like Destiny or Call of Duty or some shit like that, and there was one of the squeaker 12-year-old kids who's like, "Why are you playing as a girl? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, yeah, that's right. We're in the male zone right here, where we have kids who haven't properly hit puberty asking why I would want to look at a girl's ass for like 10 hours. Also, like, a whole part of the anti-Gamergate, anti-male gaming spaces thing is like, think about how much women are harassed if they use voice chat in Call of Duty. And while this is true, who the fuck uses voice chat in Call of Duty anyways? You think men don't get harassed? They might get harassed less than women, but not a single productive comment has ever been uttered in any kind of voice chat in the history of voice chat, especially for stuff like first-person shooters. It's just endless people having their mic turned on while muffled rap plays in the background, or there's a baby crying, or just people endlessly yelling racial expletives to see how quickly they can get banned. When I came, my voice thankfully comes off on the masculine side, so I'm spared from that shit. I've literally never had any kind of productive interaction using voice chat ever. Video gaming. And that's not just me speaking, that's just like any kind of voice chat from anybody to anyone. It's like, you know that infamous Coca-Cola ad where there's actually like people communicating and being like, I think we're at the, you know, extraction point. Nice job, guys. I've never ever heard anybody like actually be like, we should go and, you know, Rush B or something like that ever. I mean, the funny thing is, even in professional level FPS games like Call of Duty, if you actually listen to the voice chat, it's all just like B B B B B B B C C C down 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 C down B B B go 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 monkey 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 monkey. Good shit. Good shit. Yeah, let's fucking go. That's it. Monkey 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 monkey. For those of you who don't know, instead of saying Winston in Overwatch, people used to just say monkey, which is inaccurate because he's a gorilla. And now Call of Duty is just another Fortnite. I liked Call of Duty back when it really rewarded, not necessarily camping, but the core mechanics was you would have an advantage if you weren't moving, you know, you were aiming down sight, which meant that it was kind of a good balance between people knowing your position thanks to the kill cam, and then it being advantageous to, you know, holding a position. And sometimes it was better to be moving, and sometimes it was better to not be moving. And I haven't played any of the recent Call of Duties since Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare remake. But everything, looking at it, everything suggests that it's just, you know, non-stop running and gunning, which isn't really my speciality. I have really shitty reflexes, so if it's just trying to shoot faster than people, I'm definitely not going to be very good at the video game. I played Black Ops Cold War because it was included in the PlayStation Plus package. And this was before the movement-based remakes that Call of Duty installed. But even that, I had a serious problem with it, which is the thing that everybody is complaining about at this point, which is skill-based matchmaking, which ultimately makes you want to not play the video game because it just ends up being like, oh, no matter how long I play this game and how good or bad I get, I'm always gonna have like the like 1.5 KD ratio or whatever. Like, it's gonna be whatever number the algorithm is gonna set it up to be, you know. If I start getting better, I'm gonna start playing like really good people, and I'll start dying again, and then if I leave and come back, you know, I'll be playing against scrubs and so on. When skill-based matchmaking got installed and basically took the sense of agency out of my hand, I was just like, okay, I don't really care anymore. Anyone here play Overwatch? Maybe if you asked, like, 5 years ago, there might have been people, but I feel like only the most sad, addicted people play Overwatch at this point in 2025. Like, what a dark question to ask. That's kind of like asking, does any of you here smoke black tar heroin? How many of you have a crack addiction? Why are low angles so sexy? The energy of a woman looming up over you hints at the possibility of mommy dominess, but also the possibility of being allowed to look up her skirt. I have never played Overwatch, and I called it Suicide Watch now because Marvel Rivals made it a funny joke. So, I played a little bit of Overwatch because it was available for a free trial. And I was playing Paladins at the time. Paladins is legitimately a better game than Overwatch. 6 characters is 6 on 6 is too much. They should keep it at 5 on 5, and then have flexible roles like Paladins had. And they literally copied that when they made Overwatch 2. 6-on-6 is always too chaotic. And it always just ends up people just like spamming their fucking alts, and the entire screen is a bunch of like purple and red colored crap as all these like area of effect explosions go off and shit. With 5-on-5, you have enough space for both there to be like the central tank healing DPS combo, and then like side fights, one-on-ones on the side. But 6-on-6, it always just gets messy. Black tar heroin, is that an actual thing? Damn, I was trying to find a YouTube video on how to properly use black tar heroin. But, oh, here we go. Street heroin, optimal preparation and injection.
Many of the messages shown and the lessons learned apply directly across to the injection of other drugs. Improving adopting good practice is essential. A number of studies have shown that hygiene is important in so much as it reduces contamination of injecting equipment and reduces the likelihood of bacterial infections. Any surfaces that are used for the preparation of drugs for injection should be clean and tidy. This will reduce the risk of contamination of any of the drug injecting equipment that's laid down and ready for use.
That's right. Make sure you clean your disgusting fucking crack house table
needles and syringes,
with your
cooker,
Clorox wipe.
Sterile water, acidifier, filters, a heat source, the drug of course, and indeed any other equipment that might be needed.
The drug of course.
Sterile packaging. Place it on the surface.
Oh, is this for cooking it?
Add the heroin.
I didn't even know they had this like Steric cup
and add the
bowl
water.
for cooking the fucking heroin.
Water for injection is ideal and is available from many areas. If not, water boiled in a kettle and allowed to cool is the next best alternative. Once the heroin and water have been added to the cooker, an acidifier is then added to help dissolve the heroin into solution. Heroin is an alkaline base and won't readily dissolve with water without the addition of an acid. However, it is really important to stress.
This guy has a full-on kit. He's not even using a spoon. I think this comes from
too much acid
like the locations that have decided that they're going to try and provide like healthy places for people to shoot up. So they provide like these sterile, you know, like this is the spoon equivalent right here.
The heroin dissolve.
Heroin is just weaker fentanyl. Boomer!
Any visible residue will almost certainly be in soluble products and not heroin. These will be filtered out in the next stage of the process. Before the drug solution is drawn up into the syringe, a filter is added, and these are readily available in commercially produced cookers. Alternatively, people may use cigarette filters, cotton wool, or other bits of makeshift material to filter out the drug solution, although of course none of these will be sterile. Filtration of drug solution is necessary to remove any of the insoluble particles, which, if injected, can block very fine capillaries and also block needles, syringes and prevent injection. Filters, like
that's enough.
Equipment,
I don't need to see them stick it in their vein. Let's see if he actually puts it in the vein. Yeah, this person is actually shooting at the vein. I think they actually found a real drug addict to show them sticking it.
And slowly but
based on the type of skin this person has.
Into the vein. Before going ahead with the injection, the plunger is pulled back to check insertion. Blood drawn into the syringe.
I know that there were locations in various cities that were like, we should try the whole like providing people with a safe place to shoot up. I forgot what the specific term was for these programs. And now they're sort of being like, maybe that was a bad idea. Philly? Yeah, well, I don't know if Philly is providing safe spaces for people to shoot up. People are just shooting up there, I think, but... Kids just stick to hard drugs. It's easier. I definitely don't think it's easier. I don't even know where my drug dealers are. That was always like the #1 reason why I would never be able to get into drugs, is because you actually have to like know people, and I refuse to have any kind of social connections. In my sociology course, they showed like the human connection graphs, like the 6 degrees of separation type of stuff, and it's always like, here's the node person that knows like everybody. Like, everybody knows this guy, and it's always like, this is the drug dealer. Because everybody goes to the drug dealer with, like, the jocks, etc. Skip drugs, just play MTG. Slightly more affordable than buying cocaine. Maybe. Depending on whether Wizards of the Coast is having a nice day. Your secret lair card packs might be slightly more affordable than uncut heroin. Opium making a comeback? It never left, my friend. Opiums are always around. Why do you think we had a massive OxyContin, heroin, opium epidemic in America? Because it never left. I like how there's a period in America where they're like, we created this stronger form of opium and heroin. We call it morphine. This will solve our opium problem with this safer drug. It's like, why did you think that? Why did you think that the cooler, more powerful version of this extremely addictive drug would somehow be better? And we've done this like 5 times in this country. It's like, don't worry. I know that opium is extremely addictive, but we created this other drug that we're going to sell that's also completely addictive. And nothing bad will happen. To be fair, the people that were selling OxyContin weren't like, nothing bad is going to happen. They were just like, we're going to make a lot of money. So it's not like they actually gave a fuck. So that's actually a little inaccurate. Didn't fentanyl already get power creep? What? Is there something better than fentanyl? Am I being left out? Have you not told me about the newer, cooler drug that I should know? Fentanyl 2. If fentanyl is so good, why isn't there fentanyl 2, guys? The fentanyl meta? We are actually in the fentanyl meta right now. It's time for kratom. Is this something I actually don't know about? Kratom is a tropical tree native in Southeast Asia. Consumption of its leaves produce both stimulant effects and sedative effects and can lead to psychotic symptoms. Fentanyl 2 is still being developed by FBI scientists. Every time they tested it, everyone in the room became addicted. Stop spreading incorrect information, please. Fentanyl 2 is not being developed by FBI scientists and they're not using their own supply. It's being developed by CIA scientists, and when they do properly develop it, they don't use it themselves. They put it on the street and it goes directly into our drug lords' supply so that the underclass can continue to be poor and easily controlled. FBI-san is busy not investigating Epstein Island. Could you imagine being an undercover cop having to shoot up hard drugs to stay in cover? XD. I'm pretty sure a shit ton of cops are using anyways, so... Glad to see an art stream. Some of us aren't playing Monster Hunter World, despite all the peer pressure of their fans being like, why aren't you playing Monster Hunter? Shame on you, streamer. Winners only use crocodile anyway. Let's see if there's any new crocodile photos that I haven't seen yet. Ah, yes. Nothing like a good crocodile body effects Google image search to see exposed... Holy fuck. Some of these are insane. Exposed bone as people's flesh melts off. My follows are literally people playing Monster Hunter Wilds, one femboy trying on new outfits, and this stream. Yeah. Wait, did it just come out like at midnight or so? So everyone's getting their kicks in right now. Did you see that video of a woman injecting fent into her rotting forehead? No. I said that I search crocodile images, but I don't actually go out of my way to see disturbing shit on the internet. I end up seeing enough disturbing shit on the internet without going out of my way, so... No reason to, you know, actually seek it out. Philadelphia might have a massive fentanyl problem, but the Eagles just won a Super Bowl, so it's all pretty even if you ask me. I avoid disturbing shit because I know I'll never stop looking for more. I'm glad we have disturbing shit on the internet because all the live leak images of Chinese people getting caught and pulled into conveyor belts and stuff have convinced me to never go to China. Most Eagles fans are drug addicts. I think that most Eagles fans are just normal alcoholics, honestly. overcome the Chiefs' fall defense call. Here. Credit where credit's due. Still less annoying than the Red Sox doing their Sweet Caroline shit. In fact, all of them are like about 30 pounds overweight. All of my hate toward Boston comes entirely from sports. But it's spread to my opinion of everything related to Boston at this point. Boston is a beautiful city, but the people are assholes. So there's an interesting study done during the NBA Corona, the Corona, what do you call it? the bubble, because NBA players were playing without an audience when everything got locked down during Corona. This allowed these statistical researchers to do a really interesting study to see if they played better without crowds. And what they found was that it was commonly thought in the past that like superstar players could play away in hostile crowds and stuff, but actually the total performance of players like shooting and stuff, it went up a ton without crowds. And the better the player was, like if it was a superstar and stuff, the better the player was, the more their performance increased. Which is why like the shooting percentages in the NBA bubble were super high. But an especially interesting part was the places where the improvement was the most pronounced were cities that were known for being racist, i.e. Boston. In other words, like the NBA players, black NBA players, were feeling a lot of like emotional stress by having to play in these insanely racist locations like Boston, where they're just like, fuck you! So if we actually wanted to see the highest quality of basketball, we should just all play without crowds and also ban Bostonians from actually attending games, was the conclusion. Turns out that people's psyches are pretty fragile. Also, I mean, it's probably just easier to see the basket if you don't have like a million people behind the basket, right? You're Asian, you don't do sports. I probably did more sports than like 95% of the people in this fat fuck stream. I'm not saying I was good at them. Also, most of my inability to do sports come from my father's side. My father is unathletic as hell. I don't know about my mother. I don't think she's like an insane athlete, but I'm sure that the vast majority of my inability to be like a great athlete comes from my father. I'm barely below skinny fat. I checked my weight yesterday and it was like all the way down to 171 or so. Before I started dieting, it was like 183, so I have basically lost like 12 pounds. But you can tell that I also lost a bunch of muscle. I've become like the skinny twink body type by losing weight. So now I have to like bulk up again, I guess. Is it how you're supposed to do it? Did your dad just pull your mom by existing? I think my dad pulled my mom by being generally agreeable. And my mother is someone who, it's like her way or the highway. And my dad is like one of those people that always tries to like agree with you. Like if you say something, he'll always like find an opinion that will like reinforce whatever point you're trying to make. He's like a beta in like the best way. It's like a good example of how being a beta in life can actually be very beneficial to you. Like I think for most of his life he worked in his like high school buddy's company and stuff like that. Imagine bagging a woman by being pleasant. Yeah. I could never imagine that as being a Sigma Chad who doesn't give a fuck about women's feelings, which is why I've never had sex with one. They don't seem to appreciate my helpful tips about calling them fat. I'm just like, miss, you could be much more attractive if you lost 50 pounds. For some reason, that didn't cause her to immediately pull down her panties and offer her sex to me. Strangely. Imagine being within 10 feet of a female. It's very unpleasant. I don't want to be within 10 feet of anybody, to be honest. I think I'm at like 200 pounds, but it's mostly muscle. I need to hit 225 pounds and train my muscles up, but I'm nicely jacked. There's nothing more unreliable than guys talking about their height and how jacked they are on the internet. Especially height, even more than like how athletic or how jacked they are. As someone who's 5'11", the temptation to claim that you're 6'2" is just overwhelming. Why do you live with your mom instead of my dad? Because I don't like where his houses are located. I've always lived with my mother is one thing, but the number one reason is I don't want to live with his... Also, he's remarried, so there would be some sort of awkward, like, step mother, I wouldn't even call that, but, you know, extra level of communication I'd have to do with the woman he's remarried. But even more than that, I don't want to live where he lives. I'm a cruel 3'6", built like a paper house. I wish I could achieve the dwarf body type and be wider than I was tall. Do you know that most of the guys that look super jacked in bodybuilding competitions are like shorter than 6 feet tall? Most people who win bodybuilding competitions tend to be like short. It's always better to be short in bodybuilding, apparently. They just look like they're huge because like they have such giga muscles, but they're all like, you know, manlets. They're also on steroids. That always helps. Not true. I believe in my heroes that they're doing it all natty. The Liver King said I can achieve the body type just by using his supplement program of eating freeze-dried liver and animal organs. There's no way that man would lie to me. By manlet, do you mean under 6 feet or what? Like even shorter than like under 6 feet. Arnold looks huge, and he's like 5'10". Like, a lot of the guys that are like, just like, look really, really big, look that way because they're also like 5'5" or something. Liver King also looks like he's 20 years older and half plastic. I mean, he's literally half plastic. He has, the ab plate inside him, apparently, so... 12 Principles of Life Primal. How many of guys in the chat are living primal, guys? Are you primal? Are you feeling primal today? There was a survey on a super huge 6'8" bodybuilder who was like 400 pounds and he died because his stomach couldn't process all that weight. His organs shut down. That's why the world's strongest men competitors need to be 300 pounds. LMAO. I follow sumo. And if you use like, if you look at like the average time at which different athletes in different disciplines die, sumo by far is like you die the youngest. A yokozuna called Akebono recently died of like lung complications and shit. But the combo of like making yourself super fat and then like slamming into other super fat people is probably the worst thing you can do to your body. I was watching an interview with two sumo guys, and they were talking about when they started to retire, and they were both like, "Yeah, I retired when I got diagnosed with diabetes. After I got diagnosed with diabetes, no matter how hard I could work, like my power started to go down. I guess because like my blood sugar was like getting pissed out. I was just like, fuck. Like these guys work super hard, you know. They work out super hard, but they still get like gout and diabetes and stuff like that. So the strong fat lifestyle just people weren't built to be strong fat animals. That's the sad truth. I wish we were. It would be cool if we could like actually be like bears and actually be strong fat. But we're just not really built to be strong fat. Most studies of like how humans probably evolved all sort of point to humans being like the giga skinny run a million miles archetype that you see in the marathon runners and stuff like that. That's one of the huge advantages humans have over like other animals. We're not like stronger or bigger than them. We can just run super long distances, and we can sweat because we don't have hair. So if we're on the plains of Africa and like a gazelle starts running away, we just like run after them, and then we just do long distance running until the other animals collapse of exhaustion, and then we poke them with spears until they die. What's the cardio workout routine for sumos XD? They have no cardio workout. They have a lot of just have like endless strength training. They do a lot of crouching shit. Here. There's actually a lot of sumo stable footage. First thing they do, look at all these Giga Chad strong fats. First thing they do is they do a lot of ass slapping. This is always important. And then they do a lot of like just straight up pushing each other. The thing they do the most is this. Just do this like a million times if you want to get the sumo body. I like how the sumo, this is like actually published by the sumo thing, and they're like, make sure you don't, you're careful that you don't overdo this because you're going to destroy your knees and shit. Just raise your leg super high, lower it. Raise your leg super high, lower it. It's like squats, except you also have to have like the inner muscles for balance. You also have to like be able to do the splits, basically. They just do this like 200 times a day. Obviously, it's much more painful if you weigh, you know, 400 pounds. Once I started doing this as part of like my workout routine, it actually really helped my balance and stuff like that, just in terms of like daily life. So I actually do recommend it a little. See, the people who can get their legs up can get them up super high. They can do the whole like Y splits that your hentai girls do. This guy has some nice tits. Why is it that we're allowed to look at man tits but not female tits on Twitch streams? It's unfair. Sumo wrestlers go for 440 pounds, so they're basically killing themselves. Good to know. Yes. There's lighter sumo wrestlers, but there's also like straight up, you know, there's plenty of them that hit 400 pounds. Is this actual exercise or just ritual? It's both. They have like the rituals, and they also do the actual exercise. They sort of go together. Must be great having a fat fetish in Japan. No, it's awful. What are you talking about? There's no fat people in Japan. You think that everybody looks like a fucking sumo wrestler? There's no fat people. It's crazy. When you're like in Tokyo and stuff and you see a fat person, you're like, wow, it's a fat person. As if like this is the first time you've seen a fat person in, you know, weeks. Because it usually is the first time you've seen fat person in weeks. So obviously when like you see a sumo wrestler, you're like, what the fuck, why is this guy so massive? If you have a fat fetish, just go to your standard supermarket in America. In America, you just need to go to Walmart or something, I guess. Any place that has the scooters. So that people don't have to walk. Have you ever done kettlebell training? It's awesome. I do a little bit of kettlebell training. I prefer regular dumbbells, honestly. I do some of like the swinging exercises, but I feel like the power type exercises that you're using for like jerking and shit. Like, I once pulled one of my muscles doing that. You have to remember I'm old, so it's pretty easy for me to, like, possibly tear a muscle or some shit if I do, like, too much sudden powerlifting type stuff. So I'm very careful not to do that because I don't want to rely on my extremely poor health care if I have to like actually go and, you know, get my meniscus reattached or some shit like that. So you're not old, just uncle age. Uncle age is when you start tearing shit, dude. All your ACLs and MCLs and Achilles and all this stuff is just gonna like fucking pop and explode. So he's 46 years old and apparently single with no kids. Even a dump truck filled with Doritos can't fill that void. Every single time we do a stream, my age is just going to keep on getting older and older. They're going to be like, that man is literally 95. He's going to die any day now. Also, why do you think that kids will fill your void? Kids are obnoxious little cunts. People that are like, my life is empty, but as long as I have a bunch of annoying bastards, I will feel better about my existence. is like, I don't know, man. Are you sure you wanna gamble on that? Because you can't be like, I don't want kids anymore because I don't feel happy around them once you actually have them, you know? Can't be like, I'm done with this whole kids thing. I want them to leave. It's something people tell themselves. It isn't actually true. It's especially probably not true if you're like, as long as we have kids, this will save our marriage. I fucking hate my spouse, but as soon as we have a bunch of kids, we'll feel better about ourselves. That is probably the worst case scenario for the kids especially. When you're like, mommy and daddy had you because we couldn't get our relationship to work out, so we figured, you know, we could just breed our way out of our dislike of each other. It's never too late to abort. That's what I say, but for some reason the federal government got angry when I tried to abort my 12-year-old son with a gun. They were like, that's murder, sir. And I was like, how can that be? I thought abortion was legal in this state. There's an entire South Park episode of this, so I'm a little late to make this joke, but you know. My mom wanted a baby girl, so she kept having kids and finally got it the fourth try, and it was by accident, and yeah, it destroyed my parents' marriage. Did the act of getting pregnant again and again destroy the parents' marriage, or did the actual baby girl destroy the parents' marriage? Was the father like, stop having kids, and she was like, no. The sons will never fulfill me. Also, I often hear that mothers like think they want daughters, but they don't actually want daughters, and when they actually do get daughters, like they have horrible relationships with their daughters. They fought a lot. Pretty typical marriage, unfortunately, honestly. My mother is like my way or the highway kind of person. And I'm always like, Mom, if you had a daughter, you would be so pissed at her all the time. Especially if she took after you. You guys would like get in huge fights. And she's like, no, I wouldn't. And I'm like, yes, you would. The reason that you can tolerate living with your 40-year-old deadbeat son still in your house after this much time is because like I'm a hyper predictable autistic loser who only does like one or two things, like goes to the gym and then comes home. Like if you actually had a daughter that went around like doing shit that daughters do, you'd like get in huge fights. Mothers always want daughters but forget they don't get along with all women. Yeah, not only is it all women, it's like a very specific type of woman that is your daughter that is going to go through different stages of being extremely annoying. Basically, from the point that she's like 12 to the point that she's like 26, you're probably going to be fighting with her. Moms be like, finally a woman I can get along with. Yeah, I do think that's how it is. It's especially painful if they're like, finally my daughter will fulfill my dream of becoming a ballerina that I had to give up because I got pregnant. That's my favorite meme, by the way. It's just being like, I could have been an opera singer if I hadn't gotten pregnant with you. You must fulfill my hopes and dreams, daughter. LOL, you go to the gym, just work out at home? I sweat too much to work out at home. I don't think you... People underestimate how much I sweat, but I sweat a gigaton. I'm just like a giant fucking water-filled balloon full of sweat. And once I start moving, it just starts to pour out of every single one of my pores. I honestly feel bad for the poor Planet Fitness minimum wage employees that have to wipe up after the giant fucking puddles I leave. Are you a barefooted socks at home type of guy? We have wooden flooring. So in the winter I have to wear socks and like those slipper type stuff, or else my feet are too fucking cold. And I'm pretty resistant to cold, but this is like, it's like giga cold, so it's inevitable. In the summer, on the other hand, I make sure to walk around without any socks so I can be as cool as possible. Planet Fitness should be turned into a strip club. That's much more useful, to be honest. I like Planet Fitness because it's open in the middle of the night when nobody else is going there. That's the only reason I use it. We don't have many great other 24-hour gym options close to my house, so... Also, it's so goddamn cheap compared to other gyms. Man, like some of the other gyms that have like pools and stuff like that, you're paying like $50 a month, man. 1, 2, 3. Like, I can't do that shit. I'm cheap. You've given away your physical appearance in Oslo City in one stream, and now you said there's a Planet Fitness close to your house. Well, I'm hoping that people don't care enough. The long keep Planet Fitness cheap, that and all the female influencers harassing dudes. Nobody gives a fuck about anybody at my Planet Fitness. The reason why Planet Fitness is cheap is because all the fucking casuals sign up to it every New Year's being like, this is the year in which I'm going to lose weight. And then they never go again. And they still keep their subscription turned on for the next like 12 months. And then Planet Fitness gets to charge them $15 a month or whatever. Your streams seem to be about 4 hours later than before. I remember waking up early to watch them. My stream times will change depending on the time of year. In the winter I can stream whenever, because, you know, my window is closed. In the summer I have to stream early because my room is uninsulated, so I have to escape it when it starts to get hot in the afternoon. So there will be a point this year when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to start streaming in the morning. Because it's too fucking hot in the afternoon, you know? People who consume Ozempic aren't the same people who would go to the gym regularly. Losing weight is easy, man. I hate to be that guy, and I've already said this before, but if you're actually willing to do a small amount of exercise and then stop eating as much stuff, you can really lose weight pretty easily. Step 2, do cardio like kettlebell swings the end. Man, you are really pushing the kettlebell super hard. Kettlebell is not really cardio. It's much more in the category of strength training. I guess you could say it's like a combo training between strength and like cardio, depending on like how heavy the weight you're using. But I wouldn't really call it cardio. You're supposed to do like cardio at like a relatively low intensity so your heart rate isn't like above 150 or and stuff, and then do it for a really long time is what you're told to do. If you start doing cardio like super hard, it becomes not cardio and becomes more like, you know, anabolic strength training, which is why like sprinters and stuff are like all fucking jacked. Kettlebell swings or cardio, it depends how heavy they are. I mean, it's still a form of weight training. The best cardio is running away from the hounds of the guy you just robbed. What about running after the guy that robbed you as your hounds chase him down, and then doing the cardio of swinging a heavy object into his skull again and again? The Dostoevsky form of cardio. Sending your hounds to hunt down the orphan boy. It's a drug that makes people lose weight without any workout. Apparently, it used to be a diabetes medicine. Let's see if I can buy Black Market or Ozempic right now by just Googling it on stream. Ozempic. Cost. The cost of Ozempic varies depending on factors such as insurance coverage, pharmacy, and dosage. List price, Ozempic, 0.25 milligrams, $997 per pen. You ever wonder why your insurance is expensive? It's because these fucking fat asses are being like, please, Mr. Insurance Company, I need this, this fucking diabetes drug so I can lose weight. I love capitalism, Kekona. True. American healthcare system truly is fucked on so many levels. It's pretty funny, honestly. Drake hoards them on a money pit like a dragon. Does Drake need to keep skinny, though? I thought rappers were allowed to become fat. Look at Biggie. He's 10 times the rapper Drake will ever be, and he was fat. Maybe Drake needs to gain weight. He'd crush the kids otherwise, lel. Not like us, LMAO. Speak for yourself, Kendrick. I love minors myself. Haha, just kidding, Twitch. That was a joke. I don't know how Drake still has fans. I don't know how Drake had fans in the beginning. I never thought he was that great. Who's like, it's party time. Let's get this Drake record on. Nothing says it's time to get down like my favorite rapper, Drake. What is the most popular Drake song on YouTube? Guess, guys. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess what has the highest number of views. Keck W. If I type Drake into the fucking search column, the top song is Hotline Bling. The below that is a Japanese introduction to me because I watch Japanese videos and stuff explaining to the Japanese audience why Drake is a monster. And then the third one is Not Like Us, which I had to watch recently for me to figure out what it was about. I was hoping there was a Hotline Bing version of Gotchi, but I'm not finding it. You think there would be a Gotchi mix of everything, but not necessarily. Instead, you get Hotline Miami Gotchi. You think Yi and Hitler would get along? Maybe. I mean, they'd both be high as fuck anyways, right? They might be getting along really well for like 5 seconds, and then like you leave the room and come back and like one of them would have shot another one. Just because they're like fucking out of their mind on amphetamines or something. I feel like 90% of their personality for both Yi and Hitler is just like the drugs doing the talking. Meth, but yes. Drugs gave Hitler the power to survive bombs. There's different opinions on how good Hitler was at surviving things. Last time I checked, Hitler wasn't around, so he might not have survived World War II. If anyone tries to kill you with a bomb, just shoot up some meth. That might solve a lot of problems. I think a lot of societal problems can be solved with meth. Like if your boss wants you to work an 80-hour work week, you know, that can be solved with meth. It is cool how advances in technology have been used to create substances that can make us super fucking mega high. Baby refusing to give her a fat ass, that was a one-time joke. You don't maintain canon. The reason why Marvel, the MCU, is in a huge problem right now is because they're trying to have continuation for all the storylines. So similarly, I will not have continuation of the storyline of the Necromancer suddenly having a fat ass. That is a joke. It's a one-time punchline. We don't have to keep on going back to it, okay? Are you doing this out of your volition or is it a commission? Someone was asking me to draw some Necromancer content because I hadn't drawn any in a while. I should do like an actual commission soon, because I need to make money before I start the next chapter. If Alice becomes a lich, does she get to keep her fat mommy milkers? Yes. If she's one of those like spooky spectral things. If she becomes a skeleton, then she doesn't. She'll have transparent boobs, I guess. Ephemeral transparent boobs. The funniest jokes are the ones you beat people over the head with, maybe. Garfield, what did you do with my lasagna? Who do you think's gonna live longer, Garfield or John? Just by cat years and his obesity, Garfield should die quickly, but there's also the possibility he's like an eldritch monster. Garfield isn't real, John is hallucinating. So they'll die at the same time, I guess that means. If the USA will have something along the line of the August coup in the USSR, what would be played in the TV instead of Swan's Lake? Wouldn't they just have like full news coverage even if there was a coup? I can't imagine the US media would sit out anything. Did you watch that Civil War movie from A24? So the director, Alex Garland, I fucking despise him and every single movie he's made. I've spent like an entire stream complaining about Ex Machina, where he was the director, and the massive gaping plot holes it has. I just fucking hate him, both as an artist and a human being. And I hope he never ever gets to work in Hollywood again. And if you like Alex Garland movies, I fucking hate you too. That's how much I fucking hate that guy. I think what he makes is the most disgusting form of trash. This pseudo artist intellectual bullshit that pretends like it's deep but can't even keep track of like the most basic fucking plot points that it presents. So no, I have not watched Civil War. All you need to know about Civil War is that it's a movie about Civil War, and instead of like doing the most obvious like red state blue state shit, it just tries to skirt the entire split in like cultural differences in America by being like, oh, you know, this part of America splits and this part of America splits, but it's not actually split apart along red state blue state lines, or even like what would be more realistic would be urban versus rural lines, which is what would actually happen. It's like, this is the Republic of California, and it includes California and Texas, because he's too much of a fucking pussy to actually say the most obvious shit, which is that if America were actually to have a civil war, it'd be based on, you know, the sort of cultural differences between voting blocks. So you haven't seen it? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Annihilation either. I don't want to go down the fucking Ex Machina rabbit hole, but it has the most massive, poorly explained plot hole I've ever seen in any form of storytelling ever. It absolutely blew my fucking mind that people weren't pointing it out. Alright, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna give you the 30-second version. The plot of Ex Machina is about this guy living in like a Steve Jobs Apple house in the middle of, I don't know, in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's a android there. The guy who's visiting the house creates a plan with the android so that she can escape, and the whole escape plan is based on him hacking the doors of this like technological development house so that when the lights go down, usually when the power goes off, all the doors of the house lock so that nobody can escape, like the robot can't escape. So he hacks. The plot of him getting her to escape is he's going to hack the system so that the opposite happens. So when the power goes down, then all the doors are unlocked. And the movie ends with the guy, the power is down, and then he gets trapped inside this building, locked inside, and he can't get out. So the core concept of like the heist or whatever is one thing, and then the way they end the movie is like, oh, this guy trusted a woman, this guy trusted a machine, and now he's paying for it. And like, it's the exact opposite thing is happening. It would be like if we got explained that you have to blow up the Death Star by shooting a missile into their vent port, and instead of the Death Star blowing up, when they shoot the missile into the Death Star vent, the planet that the Rebel Alliance is on blows up instead. And you'd be like, wait, I don't understand what just happened. And nobody who has seen this movie, except like a few people, seem to point out how insanely fucked up this entire plot point getting negated was. And I can't get over it. I don't understand what the fuck anyone is talking about right now, and I'll talk about non-obscure AIDS films. No. In fact, because you said that, I'm going to talk about even more obscure films, just to spite you. I'm trying to think of the most obscure film I've seen right now. In retrospect, I haven't seen that many obscure films because I don't go out of my way to watch movies that aren't celebrated. Fuck yeah, Criterion Collection. The most recent obscure film I saw was the first 15 minutes of Eraserhead. Because I was like, I should catch up with David Lynch. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm trying to draw while I'm have this on in the background, but there's like zero fucking dialogue because it's, you know, fucking David Lynch experimental movie making. So yeah, I stopped watching that pretty quickly. Eraserhead isn't obscure. Everyone has heard of it. Alright, fine. But there's no point in me talking about a movie that literally nobody has heard of. It has to be obscure, but obscure in a way that in which people actually know what I'm talking about. So, I can't just be like, the most obscure movie I've seen is this Japanese movie that you guys don't know about. Because I've seen plenty of those. I can be like Elon Musk being like, my favorite anime is Evangelion. I'm sure none of you know about this cult classic. Spirited Away. Tetsuo the Iron Man. I feel like I've seen like 10 minutes of that, but I don't think I've actually seen it. David Lynch, rest in peace, but his movies weren't my thing. You're gonna get in a fist fight with Hystrixia regarding that, probably. I don't know, I was never a David Lynch guy. I never saw much Twin Peaks either, because I wasn't a TV person. What about Svankmeyer's Alice? Have you guys seen that? I think it's just straight up on YouTube if you want to watch it. It looks like this. It's just like endless stop motion animation. One of the best things to see when you're extremely high, of course. This is making me anxious, yes. It has that effect on 99% of the people who see it. It's like a solid an hour and 30 minutes long. Who knows how much time it took for him to make this. Just made out of stop motion animation. It's just endless, like, disturbing imagery of Loli in stop motion animation hell. Now we're talking about Roadside Picnic. I thought you guys were all just people who are like, I haven't seen Roadside Picnic, but I've played Stalker and it's the same thing. If this is what it takes to keep stop motion alive for another Wallace and Gromit, I will take it. I mean, that movie came out in 1988, so it's even before Wallace and Gromit. I thought that Wallace and Gromit was donezo because they were like, there's only one location in England that creates the specific type of clay we need to make Wallace and Gromit. and it's shutting down. I was like, well, I guess we don't get any more Wallace and Gromit. So I'm kind of shocked that we're getting more. I don't know if it's going to be playing in a theater nearby. But it's one of the things I might actually go to a theater to watch movies at this point. I don't really go to watch movies in the movie theater, but I'll go and see Wallace and Gromit if we get a Wallace and Gromit theatrical release around here. Have you tried out Monster Hunter Wilds? I'm not going to play Monster Hunter Wilds for a while, I've decided. If I suddenly get an urge to play it, I'll buy it and play it. But if not, then I'm not, you know. I'm just going to let it sit. It will still be there. And it will be in a better format. The longer I wait to play Monster Hunter Wilds, the better it will be, so... Will you have a stream where you invite chat to hunt with you? No. I'm a solo hunter. I don't hunt with other human beings. Just me and my cat. That's it. You're not allowed to join me. Wouldn't you have two cats then? Monster Hunter has palicos. I'm only referring to my palico. There is a cat in this house, but it's not my cat. Also, it doesn't hunt monsters with me or play video games with me. It's just a whiny little bastard that won't shut the fuck up. It's definitely more of my mother's cat than my cat. But let's be honest, cats don't really belong to anyone. They are independent creatures from hell. Sounds like you adore the cat. I hate this cat, I'm gonna be honest. She pisses me off so much. I know cats are known to be self-centered, but this cat is like self-centered even from a cat perspective. How do you feel about dogs? I've never owned a dog, so I don't really have any personal opinions. Most of my opinions about dogs have become negative thanks to all these shitty dog owners that we had in Corona. Because I was jogging outside. I started jogging outside because the gyms were closed at the same time that everybody got a fucking dog, a new dog. So we have all these undisciplined dogs and undisciplined dog owners walking around on their sidewalk. And I have to live in constant fear of, you know, some shitty pit bull mauling me. So yeah, most of my negative opinion about dogs comes from my negative opinion about dog owners, but Not a fan at this point. Are you interested in Mickey 17 directed by the Parasite guy? I'm a pretty big fan of the Parasite guy. I like Snowpiercer a lot. And this seems like a Snowpiercer, not necessarily sequel, but in the same vein. However, I don't think I'm going to go see it in the movie theater. It's very hard to convince me to do anything in the movie theater at this point. It's just too far, so... Snowpiercer is like his worst film? Wow. Everybody has the incorrect opinion in this stream, except for me, as usual. If only people had the correct opinions like I do, the world would be a better place. Unfortunately, you're all wrong. I like the part where they killed each other. My biggest complaint with Snowpiercer is when they find out they've been eating cockroaches. As if, like, cockroaches are super efficient food source. Everybody keeps on thinking that, like, bugs are a really efficient food source that you can just have, like, a shit ton of in the apocalypse. But that mostly comes from our idea that we don't want to eat bugs. So in, like, the post-apocalypse world, we'll be forced to eat bugs because they're efficient. But you know what's more efficient than bugs? Like beans. We already have food sources that are more efficient than beans. There was all these like new age, real world, like we're gonna eat crickets now, food companies that were trying to convince us that due to global warming we have to, for protein, we have to eat crickets. And it's like, come on, dude. We already have a completely good food that can adapt to global warming that's way more efficient than eating cows and pigs and stuff. It's called beans. Beans are a source of protein. We already have it. We don't need to eat fucking crickets. Stupid retarded bullshit. Eat the bugs. Yeah, we don't need to eat the bugs. Just eat the beans. Bugs are a bad food source. A lot of studies have proven that chitin consumption is worse than red meat when it comes to heart health. But how do we know? For sure, we need to eat 10 million bugs to find out. It really does just feel like the industrialists were like, let's just see what we can convince the poor people to do for our amusement. The fucking bugs thing. Let's just tell them that they have to... The only way for them to stop global warming is if they make personal sacrifices, and then let's see if they eat the fucking bugs. Instead of eating, you know, vegetables. Fucking vegetables, you know? Stuff that reduce greenhouse gas just by growing because it, you know, it's based on carbon dioxide. Are crawfish equivalent to bugs, and if so, I will test this for science? I don't think you eat the chitin part of crawfish, if that's what their shell is made out of. Isn't the whole thing about chitin being bad for you is that there's no way to eat just the meat of bugs? Because they're just like, mostly their exoskeleton, so you have to eat the exoskeleton, so you're ingesting a bunch of, you know, exoskeleton bits into your body. When I'm drawing skeletons, I always wonder, like, how many of the individual teeth I should draw. That's always the thing that I'm always like, it looks weird if I give it, if I, like, draw all the teeth like this. It always looks fucking weird. I have to figure out what is the right amount of visible teeth to make it look okay. And if I give it, like, too many lines like this, it also looks like it has, like, a mustache or, like, wrinkly skin or something. Alright, I'm not making much progress. Skeletons are pretty complex shapes, so I should have seen I would have difficulty drawing them on stream. See you around, guys. I'm going to end the stream here and go eat a bagel. Have a nice night. Good night, guys.